Well, President Obama hosted his second official state dinner last night to welcome Mexican President Felipe Calderón to Washington. Sitting next to Calderón at the dinner were First Lady Michelle Obama and Dolores Huerta, the co-founder of the United Farm Workers of America. Earlier in the day, President Obama and Calderón met privately. Part of the discussion centered on Arizona's controversial new immigration law, which allows police officers to stop and interrogate anyone they suspect is an undocumented immigrant. At a press conference, Calderón openly criticized the Arizona law.
In Mexico, we are and will continue being respectful of the internal policies of the United States and its legitimate right to establish, in accordance to its Constitution, whatever laws it approves. But we will retain our firm rejection to criminalize migration so that people that work and provide things to this nation will be treated as criminals. And we oppose firmly the SB 1070 Arizona law, given in fair principles that are partial and discriminatory.
President Obama said his administration is examining the civil rights implications of the Arizona law.
We also discussed the new law in Arizona, which is a misdirected effort, a misdirected expression of frustration over our broken immigration system, and which has raised concerns in both our countries. Today, I want every American to know my administration has devoted unprecedented resources in personnel and technology to securing our border. Illegal immigration is down, not up, and we will continue to do what's necessary to secure our shared border. And I want everyone, American and Mexican, to know my administration is taking a very close look at the Arizona law. We're examining any implications, especially for civil rights, because in the United States of America, no law-abiding person, be they an American citizen, a legal immigrant, or a visitor or tourist from Mexico, should ever be subject to suspicion simply because of what they look like.
While President Obama and Calderón were meeting in Washington, another drama was playing out in the state of Arizona. 3 immigrant rights activists are facing possible deportation after they were arrested in a sit-in on Monday at the offices of Republican Senator John McCain. The students called on McCain to back the DREAM Act, which would grant permanent citizenship to undocumented workers' children if they completed 2 years of college. The 3 are each undocumented immigrants, marking one of the first known instances activists have risked deportation to back immigration reform legislation.
The activists were held in ICE detention on Tuesday night, but were released on Wednesday after a judge ruled they were not a flight risk. The 3 activists join us now in Phoenix. Mohammed Abdullahi is a 24-year-old Iranian-born immigrant rights activist. He's a co-founder of DreamActivist.org, a resource web portal for undocumented students. He's lived in Michigan since he was 3 years old. Yahaira Carrillo is a student at Rockhurst University in Kansas. She was born in Mexico and is the founder of the Kansas-Missouri Dream Alliance. And Lisbeth Mateo is an organizer with Dream Team Los Angeles. She came to this country at the age of 14 from Mexico. Welcome to all 3 of you. Lisbeth, could you tell us what happened subsequent to your arrest when you entered Senator McCain's offices?
So we stayed just sitting at Senator McCain's office, and we were there for a few hours. We refused to leave, and after that, we demanded to get Senator McCain to co-sponsor the DREAM Act. After that, we were arrested and were taken to county jail, where we spent the night. And the next day, we had a hearing, and we were eventually turned over to ICE. We were in custody of ICE for a few hours, and then they determined that we could leave under a promise to to appear and to in court and to basically just appear in court later at a later date when they said that.
Could you tell us a little bit about your personal story and why you made this decision at this particular time to risk the possibility of deportation?
Sure. Well, I came to this country when I was 14 years old, and you know, I went to high school, I went to college. I graduated a couple years ago. I've been working on the DREAM Act for about 7 years now, and throughout that time, I've met a lot of young people who have lost a lot of hope, who are so desperate, and who have gone through so much depression and don't know what to do. I've been organizing, like I said, for 7 years, and I feel like that I'm in a way responsible to do something. You know, I'm 25 years old. I'm not so young anymore, and I work with a lot of really young people, high school students who, you know, in a way look up to me and to other people in my situation who have made it through college. And so I felt the big responsibility to do something, even if that was, you know, risking possible deportation.
Mohammed, tell us your story, why you chose to sit in that day at McCain's office earlier this week.
Certainly. My family immigrated here from Iran when I was 3 years old. I've been living here pretty much my whole life. I went to elementary school here, middle school, high school. I graduated from high school in 2003, and after graduating, I kind of came up to this roadblock where I really wasn't able to do much because of my legal status. And so I started organizing on the DREAM Act and started working with students that were facing deportation and helping stop their deportations, and organizing and getting resources to undocumented students around the country to make sure that even if I wasn't able to go to college, other students would have that opportunity, that we could help them with that. And so as we were getting down to the end of this year, and we're realizing that the DREAM Act really has a very small chance of passing in terms of time that we have left. And so we started realizing that, you know, we need to escalate as a movement, and we need to start taking bigger risks so that we can make sure the DREAM Act has a chance of passing before the end of the school year. And so that's why we decided to do this action. Senator McCain was a longtime supporter of the DREAM Act. He was a champion in 2007, and unfortunately he felt the need to leave the Senate floor 15 minutes before the vote in 2007. And so we thought he was a good target here in Arizona to kind of remind him that we respected him in 2007 as a champion. And out of that respect, we wanted to come back to his office and show him that, you know, we're still here, we're still undocumented, and we definitely need him to take a risk, just as we took a risk with our lives, and co-sponsor the DREAM Act.
Mohammed, what would happen if you were deported? Where would you be deported to?
If I was deported, I'd be deported to Iran, and because I'm gay, that's probably not the best place to go. And to be completely honest, I haven't really thought about what would happen if I was to go back. At this point, like Lizbeth was saying, doing this action came out of a place where we actually owe a lot of responsibility to the undocumented youth that we work with. And as undocumented students that are a little bit more out there and a little bit more public and have a little bit stronger networks than a lot of the young people that we work with, it's our responsibility to take bigger risks. And so I would put my life any day in the hands of the people I'm sitting here with, the undocumented youth that I'm working with. And that's what we did with this action, because we really need to push the DREAM Act forward.
And Mohammed, what do you say to those Americans who may be sympathetic to your ability to make a successful college career for yourself, but who say that you're still in the country illegally, and that many others from around the world who are trying to come to the country go through the legal immigration process? What's your response to them?
I would just remind them, just like myself and Lizbeth and Yahira sitting here, we've pretty much grown up in this country, and so we consider this country our home. And so whenever people say things like that, for us, it's just we're trying to improve our home, which is this country, and that's why we're trying to work for the passage of the DREAM Act, because we see a problem in our country, and we want to solve that. And so that's why we're working towards the DREAM Act, because we want the same thing as those people, and so hopefully we can work together to pass the DREAM Act.
Yahira Carrillo, tell us your story. You're a student, and tell us how you ended up sitting in at John McCain's office.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us here today. Yes, I am a student at Rockhurst University. I graduated high school in 2003 and have been working on my bachelor's degree since then. Currently, that's been 7 years in the making. I expect to graduate hopefully next spring, which will make 8 years since I've been working on my degree. I came to the U.S. when I was 7, so just like Mohammed states, this feels like my home. And just like Lizbeth stated, we've been organizing for years around the DREAM Act, and this action is bigger than ourselves is one thing that we like to remind ourselves of, and that it's not about us as individuals. It really is about the thousands of students that we work with, and the urgency that they feel and the desperation that they feel, and really the need to pass the DREAM Act, because we need to give young people hope, because their dreams are being truncated and their hopes are being dashed every single day, especially now that we're in graduation season. It's a bittersweet time for undocumented youth who are graduating high school and really don't know what the next step is.